2022 Chevy Trailblazer. With apparently this engine has a 3-cylinder. This thing has 3 pistons firing under the hood, which is crazy to me, to be honest. I would never expect an SUV like this to be 3-cylinder powered, but it does have turbos, so it kind of makes up for it. But some quick specs: this is going to be powered by a 1.3 liter inline 3 with some turbos, naturally pushing around 155 horsepower and 174 pound-feet of torque. This thing has a 9-speed shiftable transmission, and it is all-wheel drive. And this is what a key looks like. Looks like every other Chevy product, to be honest. Like, nothing has changed on this key, but same thing as always, you have your little spare key back here. But let's do a quick little walk around. We're out in somewhat of a little bit of nature today, but taking a look at this car, you can tell it looks aggressive, it looks sporty. The RS model has a little bit of a more power bump and probably a little bit of less chrome, but you know me, I don't like chrome as much. I like my cars blacked out to have like that stealth / midnight edition. This one, it's okay, it has blacked out rims with a little bit of chrome, so this one passes. And again, our key looks like this, and it does have remote start, so let me show you what the engine sounds like. Like silence, you can barely hear it. It's like non-existent. This is like Chevy's crossover small SUV, and not too bad for the size, at least, because size is not everything every single time. Decent amount of trunk space, and you get your spare tire down here. Maybe you could like store a little bit of stuff here, but nothing much, to be honest. Little lights, which barely lights up anything, like doesn't seem bright at all. Trailblazer with all-wheel drive. Hopping inside, like again, cloth seats, because this is like one of the base models, like, which is to be expected. Like, nothing fancy here, just plastic all around, aluminum door handles and window controls, speaker down there. Like, simple and very straightforward stuff. This screen feels way too tiny, even though it has Apple CarPlay and everything. It feels like they went a little bit too crazy with the plastic and decided to cheapen out a little bit. It feels way too tiny for this. But engine noise check. Nah, it's not bad. And the cool thing about this one is that even though it is all-wheel drive, you can make it front-wheel drive, and with the push of a button, this thing is now full-time all-wheel drive. And as you can see, we have a sport mode down here, lane keep assist, auto on and off. I really don't see the point of having auto stop on and off, because the engine is so tiny. How much gas are you expecting to save if you're gonna make the engine that tiny? But let's look at our gas mileage first of all. It's 9.2, which is very, very good. But again, maybe the engine is getting strained just a bit because it's pushing all this weight of an SUV. Some storage down here, some more over here, a little bit of storage, which you really can't place anything. I wouldn't place anything here, it's pointless, it's useless. And tiniest little compartment here, reminds me of the Ford Edge, but a little bit more solid than the Ford Edge, so that's a plus. Naturally, we're gonna take this thing out on the highway, see what it's like, and criticize and also critique, give you guys my honest little feedback of this thing. So the horsepower number again, this thing competes with the RAV4, the Honda CR-V, the Kia Seltos. And even though this one might be a 3-cylinder, it doesn't boast the most horsepower, but somehow it feels quick. I am giving that attribute because of the transmission, the 9-speed automatic, and the fact that this one has turbos on it as well. I'm pretty sure some of the higher end Kias and Toyotas will slap turbos onto their premium engines, but for mid-range engines, this one does okay. Like, it's not bad. And since it looks so aggressive like this, I'll say it's the more sportier one. Wish it had paddle shifters, because a handful of those other competitors do have paddle shifters, but at the same time, This car is not made for that. This car, I wouldn't even call it a city rat, to be honest, because I don't think this car would really fit into the city. Can it do it? Yes. It's not big to the point where it's overbearing in the city, but I feel like it's more of the, not country, but urban places. You see this car like around family houses, in residential areas like this places, for example. This is where I would expect to see this car running around, doing grocery runs. I don't expect to see this car driving around in the middle of the night going to a club or something, unless the kid is sneaking out. This is more of a parent's vehicle. Like if I see a young person driving this car, I would say, oh, this is probably their mom's car, or this is probably their dad's car. Because unfortunately, kids will not be looking at this car as something they would want to spend their money on. They're gonna buy something small, something fun, Toyota Camrys, Toyota Corollas. That's what I expect them to be in, not this. Not bad acceleration. We're gonna do a proper 0 to 60 as we merge onto the highway. As long as the area is not busy, because I don't want to get onto a busy highway. Pretty stable. Acceleration is very linear. It doesn't feel like it has low end or high end power. It's just constant. There's no extra push when you get past 4,000 RPM. There's no extra push when you're at 1,000 RPM. It's just constant power delivery, which is okay, but again, proves that this one might not be the sportiest thing out there. Seats are comfortable enough. Road noise, it's well insulated for the price range. You're gonna get this thing, I want to say, below 40K, brand spanking new. And the reason you're probably gonna be buying something with a 3-cylinder, against my better judgment, is because of the fuel efficiency. That's the only logical reason I can see people buying cars with engines this tiny. And let us try out our stereo system, because I haven't tried that out yet. It's good, but you know me, we're gonna customize our bass and put it to the max, and it's good. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. There are like no names. There's no, I don't see a name on the speaker saying Bose or Harman Kardon. So it's just your standard stereo system. But let us slap it into sport mode, and 3, 2, 1. Not bad. Like, you can get up to almost felony level speeds in this car. So practical, yes. Decent trunk space, yes. Comfortable ride quality, pretty good. Cruise control set at 101 kilometers an hour, 111 I mean. With lane keep assist, it's good. It also has crash detection collision alert. So it's not like adaptive cruise control, but the car will warn you that you're about to hit something and beg you to step on your brakes quick enough. But overall, it's not a bad car. The cruise control is very simple and easy to use. As you can see, the car is like straightening itself out, and unlike the Kia, it doesn't get angry at you and tell you to put your hands back on the steering wheel if your hands aren't on the steering wheel. It will warn you, like you can see it's orange because we're approaching the line and the car is trying to adjust itself. Don't do this when you're in traffic. Do it when you're by yourself in the road, because it will get uncomfortably close to other vehicles if you don't correct it. And if you want to cancel your cruise control without pressing any buttons, just hit the brakes and your cruise control will be disabled. Another cool feature is that if there's a car in front of me, I'll show it to you guys, but if you're too close to a car, it will, a light over here will come on orange, telling you that your reaction time will not be the greatest because the car is super close to you. So let's do it again for this one. And I'm glad we got off just in time, because you can see the cop right there waiting for somebody. But yeah, here's the little orange light I was telling you guys about. If you see it, it means that you're too close to a car and you won't have enough reaction time if the person is to put on their emergency brakes. The cop is right there looking for people to get. First thing on a Wednesday morning, that is crazy. But anyway guys, this has been the 2022 Chevy Trailblazer. Honestly, not a bad car. I'll give it like a solid 8 out of 10. It does its job well. It accelerates pretty quick. Like, I'm not expecting fancy stuff for the kind of money I'm paying for this one. So arguably very good. It's a solid car, I'm not gonna lie. The build quality is good. Like, everything just seems to tie in well, and it's also pretty satisfying to drive. If you want to be sporty, you kind of can be. I mean, you can push any car to be sporty if you really want it to be, and everything just feels to fall into place properly, except for the screen. I'm still on about this screen because it just feels way too tiny for all this extra plastic. Like, they could have done so much more with all this extra space, but that's just me. Anyway guys, take care and peace.